Ladies and gentlemen, members of the international press, representatives of European institutions and global democratic society, Romania, a member of the European Union, is today facing one of the most discreet yet dangerous democratic crises in the Western world. In December 2024, the Romanian presidential elections were officially annulled based on suspicions of alleged interference by the Russian Federation. To this day, no public evidence or official conclusion has been presented. Only a drastic decision, lacking transparency, that left an entire nation in uncertainty. One of the most striking aspects of that annulment was the disqualification of Călin Georgescu, the candidate who was widely expected to win by a landslide. He was barred from running further without any real legal justification. The authorities violated their own laws and the constitutional principle that every citizen has the right to vote and to be elected. It was a decision that undermined not just one man's political future, but the fundamental integrity of the democratic process. In May 2025, the electoral process was restarted. On May 4th, in the first round, the leading opposition candidate, George Simion, secured over 41% of the vote. On May 18th, in the runoff, in a completely unexpected turn, the system-backed candidate, Nicolae Dan, was declared the winner, despite obtaining just over 20% in the first round. No credible explanations, no public analysis of the discrepancies, only a surprise received with official silence. What followed was not clarification, but a deliberate campaign of censorship and intimidation, not only against independent media, but against any citizen who refused to be silent. Accounts deleted, interviews erased, platforms suspended. In Romania in 2025, freedom of speech, although explicitly protected by the Constitution, is treated by the authorities as a threat, an obstacle, a danger to the artificial stability of the official narrative. And to those who refuse to be silenced, the state metaphorically puts a boot on their head, digitally, socially, institutionally. Respected journalists with decades of experience were targeted. Ion Cristoiu, TikTok account permanently deleted. Marius Tuca, banned on YouTube, and an episode of his show was taken down by CNA, Romania's National Audiovisual Council, after he openly criticized state institutions. The official justification? A statement that reveals the depth of Romania's democratic backsliding. A journalist does not have the right to contradict a state institution. This statement is not just disturbing, it is the exact opposite of what free press stands for. In any real democracy, the press is not supposed to echo the government's message. On the contrary, it has a duty to ask questions, to investigate, and to criticize, to act as society's watchdog, not the state's lapdog. Robert Târcescu, Iosifina Pascal, Anca Alexandrescu, silenced, limited, or blocked online. Independent content creators were not spared. Mr. Story, banned permanently for viral videos that exposed uncomfortable truths. Bobby D, an independent journalist, had 5 TikTok accounts deleted, each followed by tens or hundreds of thousands of users. In the past 6 months, Bobby D publicly stated that he has been subjected to massive pressure and direct threats simply because he refused to submit to the imposed silence. Against the backdrop of this digital purge, the European Commission announced a major initiative, 650 million euros for combating disinformation. At first glance, the goal appears legitimate, but the crucial question remains: who decides what is disinformation? Who defines what is true and what is false? This is where the real danger lies, because this project is not just about protecting information, it is about stabilizing public opinion. In other words, total control, enforced consensus, and effortless manipulation. In Romania, these motives are already being invoked to justify the silencing of critical voices, to mask reality behind convenient labels, to transform freedom of speech into a conditional privilege, rather than a constitutional right. This is a dangerous strategy, one that could soon become a European export model. Today, Romania. Tomorrow, another country. Dear European partners, Romania is not asking for pity, it is demanding attention and honesty. Because if a member of the EU can be subjected to institutionalized silence, if fundamental rights can be canceled in the name of stability, no democracy is truly safe. Romania is the test, not just for its own democracy, but for the future of Europe as a whole. Thank you.